Okay, so we're gonna start at a different area here. So here's my car. This is my carport, and on one wall of my carport here, I have grapevines, and I wanted to show you the bounty that I have this year, because these are our blueberry grapes, and there's 4 grapevines here, and I basically want this as a wall, but I fed them so much this year. I've just got like so many grapes. I mean, I'm gonna make some wine. If you go all the way down here, and they're almost starting to get ready. There's some over here that I think are pretty close. So some of the birds have started testing some of these. So these taste just, let me see, they taste just like blueberries. You can't really grow blueberries here in the desert, but you can grow blueberry grapevines. And they taste just as good, if not better, because blueberries take about 1,500 chill hours, which we do not get. We get about 200 chill hours here. You know, any temperature or hour under 40, I think 5 degrees Celsius, Fahrenheit. So yeah, but yeah, I just wanted to like kind of showcase how many unbelievable amount of grapes that I have growing here this year. Fed them a lot, watered them a lot, and very proud of my grapes bounty here. So wanted to show that, and it keeps the carport very cool for my car. So let's go to the front. You're getting a very different view of my yard this time around. So I still have some of the old oranges here. I haven't picked them all. I couldn't eat them all this year. So you can see I'm gonna get the rest of them down, but and this is the new ones coming in. If you can see how big the new tangerines are here. And we got the sapote right next to it. That is really getting so big. And I will show you guys, oh, here's the bay leaf tree, a bay leaf tree that is almost shading my house now. It's gotten so big, but I really want to show you my moringas. Everyone's waiting for the moringas, and I am growing the pods this year. It seems to take a break. Look at this. About every other year. So last year I didn't grow as many as this year, and this year it's just so loaded. And of course I'm letting them mature, because these germinate so well. I get about an 80 to 90% germination rate from the seeds off just this one tree here. So this is my and I sold out so fast last year because I didn't produce as many as I would have liked to. And this year I'm thinking I'm going to be able to supply you guys with a lot of moringa seeds. And the pods are just, oh my God, they're huge. Look at that. Like, can you see how big and how many? Like, I could like walk through this and just like turn around here and get this angle so you can see how many pods of moringa I've got this year. And I'm letting them mature, and as soon as they mature and I harvest them all, look at this, look at that, and I harvest them all the foliage will start growing. So I'm letting it, I'm feeding it a lot, trying to keep it as healthy as I can, and the pods are just looking amazing. And yeah, so I'll put a link down below for the email, and I'm going to send an email when they're ready if you guys want to grow your own moringa trees here, because I'll be able to supply you. And I've got one more tree in the backyard that I also want to show you. So this is pink grapefruit here, and if you saw my pink grapefruit, I got a lime tree. Here's the limes, the size of the limes here. They're not going to be ready till winter or like Christmas time, but this is how big they are now, and it takes a while to grow these guys. And this is one of the pups that I planted about a month ago. This is a medjool date from one of my pups. Now it looks dead, but if you look inside there, if you look inside there, it's green. So I think it's going to make it. So there's one of them, and I'm starting to propagate a lot of them. So let's go around here. More oranges. Look at that guy. Look at, these are so good. Oh, that's how big they are. And I've got another, I know he looks so desolate, but there's another medjool. And again, he looks kind of dead, but if you look at the center is turning green. So there is a theme here, even though it doesn't look that great. When you're planting date palms, like the first year it sleeps, the second year it creeps, and the third year it leaps. So this one is sleeping. It's hanging on. It's the middle part is the part we want to look at, and it's still green. So it's growing a root system this year, so you won't really see anything happening on top, but it's all happening underneath. So starting to come along. Oh, here's the Jujube. Out of the Jujubes, like so many Jujubes, you can't even think. This guy right here is the pomegranate, and this is the size of the pomegranates here in June. And again, these guys are not going to be ready until Christmas, December time. So this guy is like 3 years old now, and so it's really leaping this year. So let's see, behind that is the apricot tree. This apricot tree, it took its year off, so it had about 20 pounds of apricots off of it this year, but the year before that I had about 200. It was insane how many I had. So it's still really healthy and going here. So this is the front yard, and of course all the moringa. So let's doesn't take very long to do the front yard really anymore. Oh, should look at this guy. This is the passion fruit, and I'd have to really dig in there to see where the passion fruit is. And it's binding up and it's starting to hang on to the moringa, so all this moringa is hanging down so low. Look at that. Okay, let's go to the back. So, and here is, I want to stand back because this tree has gone so big. This is the white sapote. Look at it. It's as tall as my house now, and it grows hundreds of sapotes, and that's them right there. White sapote. So a little bit exotic, but it's in actually, like, you know, of course, that beautiful microclimate that we have here under the bridge, and all the sapotes. So we'll go to the back here. And coming along, this cactus is, I don't know, if you look back at previous videos, you'll see how much the cactuses have grown here. And oh, this is the black Sphinx date palm, and I thought it wasn't going to make it because I basically had to rip it from the mother so badly. It was so attached. It was almost, it took me half a day to get it off, and I'm like, great. And I thought I had killed it getting it off the mother, and so I put it in the ground. But look, if you look in there, see that green? It made it. So it's growing a nice root system right now. So it's probably going to look like this until next year. But then it will, first year it sleeps, creeps, leaps. So we'll see about that. So moving along, here we got the jaboticaba. And I noticed that the jaboticaba it looks like it's bare, but it's actually supposed to look like this. Because it grows, when it's mature, it's going to grow the grapes right off of the, like the bark. It'll come off like there, the grapes themselves. So it's supposed to kind of look like that. And then I am growing quite a few vegetables here right beside me. The bay leaves. Lots of watermelon here, so you can always tell that's the watermelon. And this is, I think it's loofah. We'll have to wait and see what grows. But I do have a lot of vegetables here growing this year. But we'll go over that. And I still have like fake snakes in here. The fake snakes help keep the birds away. And then in places when I was planting, like in here, you know, I put CDs down, because when you're first starting to grow your seedlings, the birds just like digging up all your seeds and stealing them. But if you put fake snakes and CDs there, you'll get more success. That's here's my trick for the day. So here we go. Let's go along here. Oh, this is the Saasy Swirl peach, and actually it just gave off all its fruit, but I actually tasted it for the first time this year, and it was amazing. Okay, and you know, guys, the yard has become so shaded, I can't even show you the size of the trees anymore, but I do want to show you that little bird's nest that's right there in the ironwood tree, which is almost a shade tree now, if you can believe it. And the mulberries are a theme, of course, and this mulberry is shading my yard, it's shading my neighbor's yard. It's huge. And this guy is about 5 years old now, and just look at the size of it. And it's giving good shade and microclimate. This is a black sapote. It's still fairly young. Hopefully I'll get some sapotes off of this soon. And it's just so beautiful now that I have all these canopies in my yard. So we'll go along here, and I do want to show you. Here we go. There's the pond. A nice view of the yard here from the dock, about all the diversity that I've got going on in my yard and how full it is. I mean, you can't see my house anymore even from here. You barely see the platform that's there. And beautiful. Okay, and here are my babies. Pond's really clear right now. I can see all the way to the bottom. So the waterfall's running. I had to replace the pump this year. That was a lot of fun. The other one burnt out because it was up against a rock, so I had to replace it. So here we go. Guava right beside here. Oh wait, that's not guava. That's the lemon. This is the guava. Sorry. This guy's guava. Behind it is the lemon. So that's the size of the lemons right now from this lemon tree. Now, I actually grew too many lemons on this tree this past year, and I broke a huge branch because of the weight of the lemon. So that was a lesson well learned, but I guess it needed a trimming anyway. So, and it's making a nice little canopy here, all the lemons. We have a fig here right next to it. This is the tiger striped fig, little figs like that. And I have another one over there. So I am skipping through a few things, so we don't really need to see absolutely everything. It's too much. So let's go back through here. So I still have some papaya. Papaya actually does really good here if you give it a good shade. And then here's the waterfall from this side. I reconstructed the waterfall this past year, and it actually looks really pretty. So that's it. And it kind of goes along there. And there's the bridge that we saw before. This is more guava. This guy right here. And date palms, guava, more guava. And I know I need to do something about clearing this area so I can get through to the other bridge that's right there around the pond. I didn't remove any pups off this one this year. It'll be next year, because removing pups off a date palm is a lot of work. So here's a bamboo that I put in, the Golden Goddess bamboo that I put in 3 years ago. So, and bamboo is a little bit like a date palm or any other tree. You know, the first year it kind of sleeps, it's like builds out its root system. The second year it'll creep, it'll put off a few leaves. But this is the third year with this guy, and you can see how, let me see if I can kind of point this out. The very bottom, those low leaves were the first year, and this part is the second year, and now this is the third year, and I'll have to go in to show you. This is starting to come out the third year, and there's the top of it. So can you see that? So you can just imagine that by the end of the season, the third year will be like up here, and it'll just, you can see the staircase, and then I'll trim all this back, and then I'll have these beautiful poles of bamboo is the plan. Now this is another medjool. This one's doing really good. It kept so much of its greenery. It's one of the pups that I did remove. And so this is the first year that I'm actually removing a lot of the pups off the date palm and replanting them all over the yard in the spots that I have left. Ooh, big bug. And so yeah, this was a nice spot that I picked for this one, and we'll see more. And then we have the ice cream bean tree that is just basically a tree. It's a tropical tree, so I don't think I'll ever get an actual bean off of this, but it's still a really pretty tree, and it's got character. So, and then we're gonna go here. Now I'm gonna show you this. This is a bamboo that I planted last year. So it didn't do anything much last year, but this year it's its second year. So that's the original, and this is the second right here. And so the third will probably be up here somewhere. So this one has got the most beautiful characteristics. let me get in here so you can see the stripes on it. And it's also like a Buddha belly, so it's slightly notched. It'll go kind of back and forth all the way up, but it is just, the striping on it is just so beautiful. I'm so like in love with this bamboo. So I'm hoping I'll get more, and I'll show you some more bamboo that I've grown. They're all edible when they're small, but I'm going to let some of these grow nice and big, and this will be the new tropical kind of area around the waterfall. And I do have a plumeria. I've been growing this plumeria for a few years now, and it's finally really established, and it's really just putting off a beautiful growth. And I'm hoping I'll get a flower soon. So we have all the guava that we can see there, and the date palm, and the beautiful waterfall. So let's back up here, sorry. Oh, back up some more here. I still have a lot of training stuff. The blood orange, oh my gosh, I got the most amazing blood oranges off this tree this past year. Like, it was so blood red. I've never had such a bloody orange. It was amazing. And so that's the size of the oranges now. You can kind of see this is it's underneath the tree, so I try to wash it as much as I can. So, and then of course we have Bob here, and Bob is starting to be taken over by by one of the date palms because they're getting so big. I'm going to have to trim it soon, so it's a little messy here, but they're looking really good. So let me just pan around. So that's like the gate, you know, to go outside the yard. And if you look at previous videos, you can see like these 3 date palms and how much they've grown. Like, I remember being excited when they started to crest higher than the brick wall, and now they're like twice as tall past the brick wall back there, right there. So I was so happy with that. So we have another mulberry here, and let me just show you kind of what we have going on here from the very back. So this is where I use this area to teach, to do a lot of other things. Guests, we all come out here. I have dinners out here and set up, so it's really pretty in the nice microclimate here with the waterfall running there. It makes it a very nice zen space. So I'm going to I don't know, I'm going to do something with this flooring. I figured I want to paint it, and I'm not very artsy. I might get my mom to come and help me paint something fun on this, but yeah. So the yard has gotten very full. I mean, it's just completely different from when we first moved in here. There was just nothing, when there was just absolutely nothing here, and then now it's so full I can't even see across it. So I absolutely love it. But let's keep moving. We'll go through here and show you the date palms and how big they are. Oh, and I should show you the dates. Goodness, this one has actual dates on it this year. So let me, it's always hard to get in here without being stabbed. So there's the flower with the dates on it. So they won't be ready for quite a few more months. I'm not overly pollinating them yet. I want them a little bit bigger, and I want to remove some of the pups too to make it easier. I have this volunteer moringa that's up here. And this mulberry, I just finished trimming it. I think I took out probably, I want to say 60% of it. I cut 60% of it down because it was coming out way past like to here. So I had to trim it all the way back and all the way down, and it was like hanging over into the alleyway, over the wall. And so I kind of went nuts trimming it, but it's okay. It grows so big and so fast. Like already you can see just the new growth from when I trimmed it. So I trimmed it there, and already this has come out past this already. So you can really go crazy on trimming these guys. This is still another date, baby date. Oh, pecan. So this is still a tiny tree. Pecans grow really slow, guys. You got to be so patient with a pecan tree. You can't rush these things. So, and of course I love my date palms. That's like the big feature. Let's see, we have olive, another mulberry, date palm, always. This is the medjool that I took all the pups off of, and replanted them. And then if we go along here, this is a pomelo. Pomelos are always a little bit bigger. That's the size of it now, but it's gonna grow into this like huge, huge fruit. So yeah, okay, so I took all the date palms pups off of this guy and I replanted them in the yard. And this is the black Sphinx, and I removed some of the pups. I was so burnt out from removing pups because it's just so much work, and it takes a bit of muscle grease and skill and tools, the right tools definitely, to get them off. So I did do that a little bit this year, and of course next year I will get to work on all these other guys that all have pups on it that need to be removed. So here we are at this side of the yard. Now I want to show you something that I like to feature every year. This guy, this China berry, big shade tree in my yard, and I always like to show you guys how, if you remember the guys who's been following me in my yard here, it died back, but it all the way to the ground, but one little tiny branch grew up into this big tree, and this is how much it swallowed it. Now every year, this is the old original tree that's being consumed by the growth that happened at the very bottom. And every year I think, okay, this is the last year I'm going to be able to see the original tree, the original stump that is being consumed by the new tree. But this year I really do think this is the last year I'm going to see it. So we'll see. And I can't even really show you guys how big this tree is now. It's just, here, let me back up a bit, but it's just amazingly big. Taller than my house now, next to another mulberry that is about the same height here. And then more date palms. So I can go by the Barbados Cherry, and there are a lot of cherries on here. The birds help themselves to it quite a bit, but all the pretty purple flowers are all the pretty purple flowers here are going to turn into all the actual cherries, the Barbados Cherry. And if I get through here without stabbing myself, because it is quite tight, that's the pond, and there's the dock. The dock is actually back there where we were feeding the fish before, and there's the little fishies. Another date palm. Ouch. Ooh, ah. And here we can kind of look on this side of the yard. So let's keep growing. I do want to show you guys some of the bamboo that I am growing. So part of my garden center here is turned into somewhat of a nursery for some of the exotic things that I'm going to grow and am growing. So we're going to go through here. This is another olive tree. I do have olives on it. Let me see. I spotted them the other day. So they are producing olives. If I can get in here. Right there. Do you see? I'll show you. There's the olives. So olive trees are actually quite expensive, and they have to, the more mature they are, the more amazing the olives are. So every year just keeps getting better and better. So I do want to show you one thing here from the garden center. So I am getting into growing exotic bamboo. Now this is a giant bamboo that I grew from just a tiny bit of root, and I managed to sprout it. And so this one's the giant, and this one, you can still see I have my trusty snakes that protect my garden, my trusty fake snakes, and my CDs. So, and this one is a red bamboo, so it won't, it will not turn red until it's fully matured. So they all kind of look the same, but that one's going to be a red one. And then back here in part of the nursery, I got them hidden in here. That guy is a blue bamboo. Or sorry, no, I'm sorry, that one's black and this one's blue. And again, they won't turn blue until they're mature. So I have quite a few things growing here in the garden center. A lot of peppers, a lot of tomatoes, I wanted a lot of watermelon this year, so you can always tell these guys are the watermelons. So they're just starting, but I also want to show you something else back here that I'm growing. So this bed right here is now turned into the nursery for all the pups that were really, really small that I wasn't sure if they were going to make it. Looks like this guy is going to make it, and so is that guy. I'm not going to bet on these sides. They were too small, but I figured they'd kind of deserve a shot. We'll see. So this area is kind of turning into kind of a nursery for the pups that I remove off the date palms that were really small, and I wasn't sure they were going to make it. So I can't spot them right now, but I do have, this is a mesquite, and I have lovebirds that come here, wild lovebirds and parakeets that come in here all the time now. So anyway, sorry. So that's that. So from the, oh, these are capers. So this is what it looks like from the garden center. I do have a few other things kind of growing here. A lot of them I don't know what it is because I just guerrilla garden. I don't really label everything super carefully unless I'm growing it for seeds. So everything else is pretty volunteer. I'm having a hard time showing you how beautiful the date palms are because I have, maybe from the other end I will. You know, this is another mulberry. Now I grew so much mulberry this year. I had a hard time harvesting it, and I had to get people in here to help me harvest because I was making so much of it. I made about 30 jars of jam. I froze about 50 pounds worth. I gave away a whole bunch. So the trees have gotten so big now. I'm overwhelmed sometimes with how much I'm growing. This is another, I guess stand back a bit. This is another pomegranate. Nice big pomegranates off this guy. This year, again, it's a long harvest for these guys. Mulberries, they grow in 2 weeks, but pomegranates, you gotta wait a whole year. I gotta work on my cactus garden here. And this medjool, I removed a lot of the pups. I trimmed it back, and I got like 2 really big pups off this guy this past year that I did move into the yard. This is one of the first date palms we put in the yard, but it had so many pups on it, I had to remove the pups. And as soon as I removed the pups, look at the center of that. It just took off. Like, look at that. Boom. Because too much energy was growing into too many of the pups, and that's when you got to start removing them. Okay, so this is this end of the yard. So when we pan around, I think last year's video I started from here. So this is what it kind of looks like now. And that guy I planted. Now this is a Bismarck This is a Bismarck Palm. And I'm really falling in love with it. Again, like the last year I had just planted it, didn't do anything. This year I think it's going to put off 3 prawns. So this was brand new, this one, and if you look in there, you can see 2 more, and it's like, I'll try to get in there. I want to showcase the beautiful blue silver color that it is, and it's just, this is going to be the most spectacular featured palm in my yard. It's going to be beautiful. It'll turn from the color green that it is right now, and all the new prawns will be a brilliant blue. So this is the 2nd year, so it's just creeping. And so next year's video, I'm really excited to show you how much it leaped. So, and that's how big the carob is now. Again, carob is like it's like the pecan. It's a very slow growing tree, but we'll go there in a second. Let's pan around through here a bit. This is a fig. This is another striped fig. You can see how beautiful sorry, let me get in here. See how beautiful those figs are. And I do have a big fig tree back here. This is again the Jujube. Lots of Jujube, more than I can possibly ever eat, but they're kind of hidden right now. And then volunteer Jujubes. They're starting to volunteer everywhere. This is the 3rd year pomegranate, another pomegranate. Always grow what you love to eat, because and down here is the fig tree. Now this is the big producer of my figs. So this tree grows so many figs. It's almost got more figs than leaves on it always. Oh, look who came out. Hello, Dusty. My cat. This is my cat enclosure. So they were coming out. They can hear me out here talking. So yeah, always grow a fig tree. It's getting pretty big. Say hi, Dusty. They're all enclosed there. That's their enclosure. So they get to go outside, and the litter boxes are outside, and I don't have to. They get to have some sun. Okay, so yeah, there is the Jujube, and it's just that's how big you can tell it is. And I'm gonna come around here, back through here, and show you guys one of the moringas. So, and the mulberry. This is another mulberry, a Pakistan mulberry. I just had to get another one. First of all, because this guy's gonna be really big and to shade my house. And also, it's the best tasting mulberry. It's at my absolute favorite. And that's how much it's grown. It's growing so much this year. I bet you next year it's gonna be twice the height of my house. So, and around here, I think this is wolfberry. Does great in the sun. It's next to my house here, so it's helping cool my house. And of course, here's my other moringa that's being weighed down by the pods. But would you look? Okay, let me switch arms here. Like, if you can see, let me try to show you how long. Can you see? Like, it's going to be, by the time this guy is full grown, it's going to be a 2-foot pod at least. So, and I've got so many of them. So all of you guys that are really waiting for my moringa seeds, look at this. They're coming, and it's going to be an amazing bounty this year. So try to be patient with it. It's going to be good. And so this guy is another nut tree, the pecan. And it struggled last year, actually, and I was able to rescue it, and this year it's putting off amazing growth. So I don't know what happened to it last year. I was really upset that it lost some branches. So, but it's come back in full force. So I fed it a lot. I foliar fed it. I gave it azomite. I just made sure it had a lot of water, and it came back. So when a tree has a year of struggle, don't give up on it. Just you can rescue trees when you think that they're going to die. But I did cut back some of the branches. It lost some of its branches, and this I think it's a volunteer loofah that sprung up here, and so I'm letting it go. And I put a little trellis there, and we'll see. I might get some volunteer loofah. So. And here's the other end of the yard. Look at all the moringa. Like, I just think it's so much fun to walk through here and see all the pods. I'm so proud of my moringa. It's just, I love it so much. And let's see. Let's go to this. Oh, this is another date palm that does have dates on it. Again, I didn't pollinate it this year because the trees are still fairly young. I'd rather wait a year and let the palm get good and healthy first. So. Yeah, this year it's really taking off. Look at that. Some of the things that I have been growing here. If we go here, like the 2 great big mulberries that are there. And this is just one of the vegetable gardens that I do have. Let me see if I can get in here if there's any left. This is, I think it's a Peppermint Chard. Look at how it looks like a candy cane. So I do sell some of these seeds, and I tried growing it this year, and it's really good. It's just so unique. God, I love it. And balayage, a lot of pepper plants. They don't have any peppers on them just yet. A few zucchinis are there. My pool's empty, so. But, and this is just a beautiful, nice canopy. And when the wind blows through it, it cools off the yard so nicely. So. And that's like one of my work areas where I mix all my foliar feeds and things like that. So just walking through the yard here, and it's so pretty. So just a quick, I guess if you can call it quick video of just how the yard is doing and how big the trees have gone year on year. This is more of a record just for me. You know, I am involved in a lot of other things that I'm working on and putting out videos on. So I hope you guys enjoy that. If not, just skip over those and just tune in for the gardening. On the dock here, this is my peaceful zen with my fishies there, my waterfall there. This is a curry tree that's still doing really great. Like really, I can't believe how good curries do in this harsh summers that we have here. And all my water plants, I thin this out completely every year, and it all grows back. Royal Point sienna that will probably get replaced with a date palm at some point. But look at the size of that leaf right there. Like that's like 2.5 feet. We're far away, so it's absolutely huge. So it's starting to get hot here. So that's it, guys. Thanks for tuning in. Leave me your comments. I'll leave some links in the description below of some of the products I've been using to grow so much food here in the desert, and to make your trees really just big and healthy and beautiful. I only use products that I believe in and use myself, so you kind of see the results here of what I use. All right. Thanks for watching, guys. I hope you enjoyed this update on longevity gardens.